Mookie Betts is out for 6 to 8 weeks. What are we going to do? I'll be talking about replacements and more on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source for fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Matthew Ane. You can find me on Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it, at Matthew_Ane. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the bell below to subscribe to the channel and give you a notification every time I drop a new episode. Also, please leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple or Spotify, wherever you may listen. And if you want a little bit more than what I offer on this 30-minute podcast, please check us out on our Subtext. You get a free 2 weeks for just joining. I promise you won't want to leave once you join us there. Links in the description below. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app today and create an account and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And guys, we got a couple things to announce. Some good stuff first. And I want to congratulate the hat winner, whoever got the wonderful, wonderful hat that I designed. And that is going to be, apologize here, my guy, Raphael. Raphael, congratulations. I'll be reaching out and going to be shipping that out to you second I get your address. So congratulations and thank you for being diligent. Thank you for everybody who has shared our post. Pete, Kyle, and everybody else that, comes to mind has been super, super consistent about just sharing our posts. And, it really helps spread the pod and, create more traction for us. And we appreciate you guys. And, that's why we try to come up with these giveaways. There'll be more to come throughout the season. It's been great. Now for some not so great news, guys. So this kind of sucks. Dom is taking a leave of absence. He's dealing with some stuff and isn't going to be able to be a part of the podcast for a little bit. He'll be back at some point. He needs to take a little time for himself, so he's not going to be here for the near future. And I hope he's back with us soon. But ultimately, I hope whatever is going on is getting him in the right place to be with us each and every day. So, Dom, get better. We're going to miss you. Can't wait to have you back. Now that we've gotten all these announcements out of the way, I want to hop on in and start talking some baseball. That's what we're all here for. And we got some good ones. Mookie Betts is gone, and we're going to be struggling. We are going to struggle, and that dude has like 18 position ability. And you know what? Let's start moving in. And I want to start talking about some hot players, guys that really don't have too many like long-term aspirations ultimately, but are going to be guys that we're going to stream until they kind of cool off, right? And it's Carlos Santana, perfect example, right? This last week, he's had 6 runs, 2 bombs, 9 ribs, stolen base, batting .391. Obviously, we know that's not him, right? Like, we know this. Santana been good in spurts, but, last year says it all, right? 78 runs, 23 bombs, 86 ribs, 6 stolen bases, batting .240. But while this dude is hot, I'm going to ride that. First base eligibility, 12% owned. Like, you know what? Scoop him up. He's out there in, 88% of leagues. Like, let's ride that wave. Like, to get average and power in these rib numbers off waivers is a must add. Like, I mean, I'm open up with just to somebody that's just going to contribute this week. And that's kind of what really counts here. And you know what? We'll manufacture wins. We'll do okay without Mookie Betts as long as we kind of catch the guys while they're on fire. Don't hold on to them too long. Dump them at the right time and pick up the next hot hand. And we'll stream and last the 6 to 8 weeks until we get Mookie Betts back in our lineup. We have an everyday sure thing in our lineup. So I got another guy like that, but who also has some, I would love to say long-term possibilities, but at the same time, they can't buy, a healthy season for the life of them. And that's Brandon Lowe. Lowe had a great week last week. 3 runs, 2 bombs, 4 ribs, a stolen base, batting .227. Now, 227 isn't great, but through the 2 weeks, he's batting 263. And we all know what Lowe can do when he's healthy. Hits the ball out of the park like crazy. He's a big body bat. And Lowe can, you know, fill that second base necessity. He's 23% owned. And you know what? If you guys don't remember what he did, if you're new to fantasy baseball, last year he opened up the season and cranked out like I think 7 or 8 home runs in the month of April. Then obviously went down the injury because that's just his MO. But Brandon Lowe can seriously contribute while he's on the field. So I'd add him now. I don't care what his batting average is. Yes, at some point he's going to hit you 250, 260, and that's going to be a great, great week. But if he's hitting like 2, 3 bombs in a week with a bunch of runs and ribs, like we're happy. Like he's doing the job. You're able to go in and like you were using Mookie Betts for second base, then yeah, like you're a happy camper. Brandon Lowe is able to come in there and kind of fill that void. Obviously, he's not stealing bases like Mookie can, but you know what? You're not going to lose in the other categories. Lowe can seriously get the job done. He is a must add, whether you like it or not. But yeah, let's move and groove. It's lightning round, guys. When it's just me, it's lightning. We're gonna get a lot of names, we're gonna get a lot of stuff, and it's a good time. So let's do this thing. Let's talk Zach Neto next. Another guy that I recommended at the beginning of the season. And Neto is um, you know, somebody that I liked what they were doing, what he was doing in spring. Wasn't able to really translate early into the season. But when he catches fire, he does have potential to, like scorch earth and just kind of do his thing like this last week. 4 runs, 2 bombs, 5 ribs, a stolen base, bat 261 over the 2 weeks. He has 10 ribs. He has three home runs, 6 runs, a stolen base. Like he is doing his thing. Like, yes, the batting average is completely underwhelming. Yes, I'd love more from that. But at 20% owned, Zach Neto, while he's performing like this with shortstop eligibility, needs to be owned, needs to be rostered because he's performing. Now, clearly, I'd love more batting average, but 261 right now for this last week. Let's hope that continues. Let's hope this production continues for another couple days. And the second it falls off, you drop him like he's hot. Like Neto is not a guy I'm counting on for longevity. Neto is somebody we're just going to get in, we're going to stream him and get out. That's all I want to do with Neto. I no longer feel that he's going to perform for a long term and be that solution that we all want. Yes, he has the prospect pedigree. Yes, he has all the upside in the world, but I just don't think it's there. Um, when I say I don't, he has all the upside in the world. He had all the upside in the world. He doesn't really. He's not really showing that that's coming to fruition anytime soon. I guess he's young. Like I think what Neto is, if I'm not mistaken here. My guy is 23 years old. So, maybe as, he grows into his big body person and just kind of like figures out himself, maybe the prospect pedigree will kick in where, he showed in the minors. This is just a little bit more of a deep dive, where he had decent power numbers, where he had, you know, decent production in the minors where he was kind of enticing to see what he was going to do. And we'll see. We'll see if he can kind of get to that. I don't know if that's really going to be a thing. I'd like to hope so. But anyway, let's move on. Actually, before I move on and get to these other names here, like Joe Siri, Jared Kelenic, and it's a whole bunch of pitching, I do have a quick sponsor that I want to talk about, and we'll be right back after this. I love going to baseball games with my family and friends. There's nothing better than drinking a beer and eating a dog and watching a ball game. So when I want to go to the game, I use a Game Time app. Game Time is an authorized ticket marketplace for the MLB, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, etc. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game event. Save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seat. Toggling through this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout and get a panoramic view of your seat right before you buy. The lowest price guaranteed, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticket industry. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code LOCKEDON MLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. And get supplies from the site that made for skilled trades, supplyhouse.com. Supplyhouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, electrical products online. Their easy to use website is packed with helpful resources and latest products info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support from industry leading service from friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining supplyhouse.com's free trade master program. Every trade master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at supplyhouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at supplyhouse.com. Are you watching Fox Sports and ESPN on your TV all day? Have you had to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 streaming channel programmed for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all that screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, news 24/7, streaming on YouTube or free on the Amazon Fire TV channel app. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, 7 p.m. Eastern. Streaming live on Locked On Sports Today 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube and free on Amazon Fire TV channel app. Also, guys, introducing the Locked On Fantasy Baseball Podcast Diamond Club on Subtext, your ultimate fantasy baseball companion. This season, rely on our dynamic content. Get real-time alerts right to your phone, including waiver wire rankings, instant call-up notifications, injury reactions, and a whole lot more. Stay out of your fantasy leagues by joining the Diamond Club on Subtext, where your path to victory begins. And by joining, like I mentioned at the top, you get a free 2 weeks. So you might as well check us out, and I promise you won't be disappointed. Stay ahead of these call-ups. Okay, you want to be ahead of these leagues. You want to know who gets the call up in the moment. You don't want to miss that. We're going to beat everybody to the punch, beat your whole league. So join us on there. Click the link in the description below. And lastly, guys, it's time for baseball again. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. I got a whole bunch of good names, and let's get started right here, right now. So let's talk about Jose Siri. All right. Siri, I honestly is just another streaming guy. You know, he's always good for a spot start, and whenever he's hurt, rolling, I kind of just feel like, okay, cool, time to roll him out there. Outfield eligibility, 16% owned, and this last week was pretty impressive. 6 runs, 2 bombs, 3 ribs, batting 269. Last 2 weeks, 8 runs, 3 bombs, 5 ribs, batting 263. He's killing it over these last 2 weeks. You know, obviously it's not like completely mind blowing, but ultimately he is serviceable. You can slide him in, and kind of if you're rolling Mookie out in the outfield position, which I always recommend, then boom, there you go. Series slides in, takes a little bit of pressure off you for now. Second he starts going south, drop him like he's hot. Who cares? We're gonna stream all day long with these kind of injuries. So Siri, perfect guy to go out there and if you didn't lose Mookie and you just need a guy for off days, Siri's your guy. Add him now. You know, you can't beat the 16% own with Jose Siri. And honestly, who else are you going to get that's performing any better than the 3 guys I mentioned before him? So you missed out on those 3. Siri's probably out there too. So add him. All right, let's talk about this last guy here. Well, not last guy, but last bat here. And that's Jared Kelenic or Kelnick. I apologize. And you know what? He's back at it. He's looking good. 29% owned. And I'm digging it. 3 runs, 2 bombs, 3 ribs, a stolen base, batting 286. Kelnick has all the upside. He was able to show a glimpse of it last year before, obviously he decided to injure himself. If you can't see through the glare on my screen, or if you're listening on audio, I'm rolling my eyes pretty hard because he just had to go and do that to himself. But last year he did look good. 44 runs, 11 bombs, 49 ribs, 13 stolen bases, batted 253. And you know what? This year, obviously he had the slow start. Didn't look like him like we were going to see what he showed in 23. But hey, maybe we're going to see a little bounce back. Maybe he's going to finally poke his head out and, be valuable for fantasy baseball. I don't know. There's opportunities on that team. Guys are dropping like flies, and I think Kalnick could definitely benefit from that, being on one of the best teams in baseball. And once everybody starts getting rolling on that team, it's going to be dangerous. And hopefully he could be part of that because, hey, I'd love to see him succeed. And being that he's out there in 71% of leagues and he starts getting rolling and he's able to have long-term value, I'm all about it. I'll add him all day in those regards. So add Jerry Kalnick now. I promise you, you won't regret it. All right, let's get in some arms, right? And let's talk about a name I haven't talked about in a very long time. That's Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson, he's an interesting one. I am kind of like intrigued. He's coming up for a start. And I'm all about it. He had a death in the family, so I'm sorry for your loss, Mr. Gibson. My prayers go out with you. But hey, we got to talk baseball now. And Kyle Gibson has looked pretty decent in his last couple starts. Out against Chicago, 6K, seven innings, got the win, no earned runs, a .43 WHIP with a quality start thrown in there. Against Colorado at home, 7K, 6 innings, 4.5 ERA. WHIP was a little high at 1.67, but also a quality start. And even against Houston, 4.76 ERA, definitely higher, a 1.41 WHIP. Went 5 deep, still 8 Ks though. I like that. And even against Cincinnati at Cincy and Great American Hitter Park, 6 innings deep, got the win, 6 Ks, a 1.5 ERA, with a .67 WHIP and a quality start. Again, all these stats are great. Like he's not killing you in your ERA. Obviously, the 4.76 isn't ideal, or the WHIP, but the quality starts, the Ks, the wins. I'm pretty happy. He's performing. And let me see who he's getting real quick for his next start, if I'm not mistaken. It is Miami, which is an awesome start for him. Yes, Miami has been somewhat hitting the ball, but I'm not scared. I'm not scared to roll anybody out against them. Um, Kyle Gibson should go out there, have a really great start, kind of, show him who's boss. And I think Kyle Gibson's going to be great for fantasy baseball this week. So go ahead and add him. 33% owned, if I didn't mention that. So yeah, go out and add him. Again, sorry for your loss, Mr. Kyle Gibson. Hope things get better for you. But all right, yeah, let's get into one more, and then we'll kind of roll with this. I have to actually go for the pronunciation on him. It's actually pretty sad for me, but Andre Palante. All right, Andre Palante. Okay, Andre has an interesting one here. So he is going out against San Francisco, and you know what? I'm not mad at the matchup actually. Let's put it that way. He's been performing pretty decently, and last start, you know, got pulled after 3, but still didn't give up too many runs. He had a 2.70 ERA with a 1.5 WHIP, 4 Ks in that time. Start before that against Colorado, 6 Ks, got the win, no earned runs, a .8 WHIP, and no QS. But he hasn't been going too deep. He either goes 3 innings or he goes 6. Let's hope he goes to 6 against San Francisco. It's at home, so it's not like he's getting a super advantage by pitching in San Francisco. But I'm definitely willing to roll him out. I'm definitely going to say, hey, I'm in a pinch. It's on June 20th, so that should be Wednesday. I'm in a pinch, or if I'm down, I want to take the shot at a guy that might not kill my numbers. Palante should go out there and perform for you. So go out there, add Andre. Again, 3% owned. He's out there in deep leagues. I'm definitely adding him in a 14-man, 15-man league. 12 man's possibly in a pinch. Maybe not in the 8 and 10 man's. Like, that's kind of where I kind of draw the line. That's where it is. Maybe I'm probably not going to stream him there. But ultimately, Andre Palante should be added in those deeper leagues because you're not going to get this kind of production from a guy coming off the waivers, truthfully. So add him now. But all right, guys, we got one last round of sponsors here and then we'll finish up with some pitchers. We'll talk Eric Fedy, Alec Marsh, Tobias Myers, and we'll get out of here. We'll call it a day, and promise we got a great conversation around all three of these guys. So stick around. We'll be right back after this. And Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You pick more or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Exploring my skills on Prize Picks this season adds an extra layer of excitement to daily fantasy sports, which is a few taps you can transform $10 into $1,000 easily. Prize Picks is incredibly user friendly. You can make a selection and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. And as the host of Locked On Fantasy Baseball, whoops, I got some good picks to get you started off with, right? Opt for Tarek Skubal to have higher than 6 strikeouts in his next outing. Opt for Logan Allen to have higher than 5.5 total hits in his next game. Opt for Juan Soto to have higher than 0.5 home runs in his next game. Download the app today and use the code Locked On MLB for first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the app today and use the code Locked On MLB for first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy with Prize Picks. All right. Sorry, just needed to sip there. But yeah, we're rolling, guys. I'm excited. We got these last couple guys. And this one, it's an interesting case. Eric Fedy. Fedy went out and pitched overseas for a bit, came back and started showing off some stuff. He's had a pretty good season. I'm not gonna lie, like Fedy impressed me. And there were some people in the community, our everydayers, like, oh, what do you think of this dude? I think he's gonna be good. Look at what Kelly did, and you know what? This might be real. This might be real. He's 56% owned, so the ownership is a little bit on the higher end side. But I want to throw him out there because he's still under 60% owned. So I feel that awareness needs to happen. He definitely needs to be owned over 60% for sure. And that might change by the time you listen to this, truthfully. So keep that in mind. But, Fedy's been really good. The season numbers look fantastic. 87 innings pitched, 5 wins, 83 Ks, 3 ERA, 3.09 ERA with a 117 whip. Okay, he's looking great. Got 7 quality starts in that time as well. This last week, he went 13 innings pitched. He got a win, 10 Ks, 2 ERA, and a 108 whip. This is across Arizona and Seattle. Went 6-7 and was able to produce very well. Those are not walk in the park matchups. And Eric Fedy was able to go out and perform. He is getting on his next start Detroit, and I like that. Obviously, Detroit isn't a scary team whatsoever, and Fedy has been performing, and I feel he needs to be added. Now let's do a little bit deeper look into Fedy, right? Fedy has great movement on all his pitches: fastball, breaking ball, off speeds. His xERA is a 3.35. His fastball velocity is about a 93.2. It's not super elite, but it's not slow either. He's not giving up, he's not giving up like extreme exit velocity rate. It's only sitting at about 87.9, and I always use this as a weird staple, but it's just something that sticks with me, right? Luis Robert, right? We know him. He hit 39 home runs last year. His average exit velocity is 89. Okay. Eric Fedy's average exit velocity that he's giving up is 87.9. So that's the difference of borderline good power is 89 and he's 2 miles per hour under. So looks good. Now, obviously, he's not getting the chase of the whiffs, but he's not really that kind of pitcher, truthfully, right? He's getting Ks and he's producing, but he's just not going to be that prolific K per 9 over K per 9 guy. But he's not walking guys. He's not giving up hard hits. He's not giving up hard hit, and he's producing ground balls. These are all things you want in a pitcher that says, hey, this is actually real. So with Eric Fedy, I think with everything I'm looking at here, I think that this is actually legitimate. I whiffed on this to begin the season because I have to be biased. I have to be skeptical. And yes, I said there is a possibility, but likelihood was not there. But hey, he's proven me wrong. I'm willing to admit, hey, I got to eat some crow and just call it a day. Eric Fedy looks great. This is here to stay. Nothing, I mean nothing, says otherwise for me, that there's going to be a downward turn for him. So Eric Fedy, if he's available, add him now. And again, 58% owned. Still, get this over 60 because I promise you, you're going to be mad you missed out on him if he's out there. And that's in all leagues. 8 to 15. Don't care. Add him. Let's move on. Let's talk Alec Marsh, pitcher for Kansas City Royals, 24% owned. Okay, he's going out against Oakland. Now, here's the thing. He's a same-day ad, right? So as you're listening to this, he's going up against them today. So you got to go out there, add him if you have it. If not, unfortunately, you could just skip past pretty much these next two guys. But here's the take at least. And, I like them for this next start. He's going up against Oakland. Oakland is not scary. They do not scare me whatsoever. He can handle himself. His last start against the Yankees, I might add, 7 Ks, 7 innings, gave up no runs and a .43 whip and got the quality start. Great start for him, especially with a strong Yankee team. Okay. Seattle, another strong team. 5 innings, a win, 8 Ks. ERA was ugly, so was a whip, but still those 8 Ks and the win was nice. Okay. He is an up and down pitcher. A lot of these starts over the last couple ones have not been great, but he's handled himself against the Yankees, and he's going up against a fluffy matchup. So go out there and add Alec Marsh. I'm definitely willing to roll him out there if you have same day availability to pitch for pitching. For adding. Alec Marsh is definitely going to be somebody you want to add. All right, let's move on. Last guy here, Tobias Myers. Now Myers, again, same day ad for 12% owned. He's going out against, let's see here, Angels. Angels aren't really even scaring me. Ward has kind of been in this limbo of, is he going to perform? When is he going to perform kind of type deal? Are we about to see a drop off? So he doesn't scare me. The lineup itself just doesn't. And I think he's going to handle himself pretty well. Went out against Toronto, where Vladdy has been hot, went 6, got the win, 4 Ks, a 1.5 ERA with a .67 whip, and a quality start. Went out against Detroit. Obviously, you know how I feel about that when I was talking about Fedy. I'm not scared of them. Went 5 Ks, went 8 innings deep, didn't give up a run, 0.5 whip. Did get, oddly enough, hit around by the White Sox, but was able to handle himself against Boston, Miami, St. Louis. Like, he's doing things. So I'm going to roll him out there against the Angels, and I'm going to add him, and it's going to be a good time for me. 12% owned. This is a guy that you could feel confident in saying, hey, there's a good matchup. He's going to go out there and perform. He's been performing. Why not? And I can go a little bit deeper in it too if you really want, since I have a little bit of time. It's not like he's going to be a long-term by any means. Like, there's a lot of blue on this, but I just like the matchup. It's just, he's just doing his thing here. He's not giving up hard hit. He is allowing everything else, though, unfortunately. He has a slower fastball. But ultimately, like I said, he's a stream. He's not a long-term value at all. That Angels matchup doesn't scare me. Add him if you can. But not a lot of leagues do same-day ads. But Tobias Myers, add him. Why not? But, guys, that's it for today. Tomorrow, we'll be back with some trade for and away. It's going to be a good episode. I'm going to probably mix in a couple of a new episode this week. Tried out the 2 streamers. For the next week. I might start that on Monday, or I might start that at the end of the week. We'll see how I feel. Also, too, I forgot to do this. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I hope you guys had a great day. But with that being said, guys, please like, subscribe, comment, rate, review, share this with your friends, your family, stream it from the rooftops, the loudspeaker, make it your horn. Check out Locked On Fantasy Baseball wherever you are, and share us on all your social media platforms. We truly appreciate you guys. And have a great rest of your day. Peace out, guys.